Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to walk you through step by step how to set up a Google Ads campaign from scratch, targeting your specific keywords for any local business. This will work for any local based business, and how to make sure you're actually showing up for the right keywords and that you're not going back in a month later or 2 3 months later and being like, I didn't want to show up for any of this. I see that oftentimes when I take on local based businesses, and I just want to show you how to do it correctly. And if you want me to do it for you, hit the link below and I would be happy to manage your ads. Anyway, let me jump into a Google ad account and walk you through step by step how to be running this. All right, we're back. So in this particular ad account, this is just a random ad account that I'm using. I'm going to explain to you how to set this up. So I'm going to go ahead, open up your ad account and click a new campaign. In this case, if we're going to be generating leads, we're going to want to hit leads here. So there's a lot of videos out there that will tell you about, hey, hit website traffic or local store visits and promotions, or create a campaign without goal guidance. Don't do that. The reason is if you have set up your conversion tracking correctly, and if you haven't set that up correctly, I recommend 1000% that you do that before you follow this video. You want to hit leads because basically what you're doing is you're telling Google, I have already identified a button on my website. When someone hits submit form, when someone hits enter contact info, or they apply, or they request a quote, any of that can be set up as a conversion event. And when you set that up before you actually launch the campaign, you can tell Google to optimize for that event. It sounds ridiculous, or it sounds basic, like this should be done. 80 to 90% of the local based businesses I work with don't do that step first. And so if you don't do that step, well, what happens 90 days down the road when you've been running ads? You could have spent thousands of dollars and you have no idea the effectiveness of your campaigns. I have heard people say, well, I'll know if I'm getting more business and my sales are going up. It doesn't matter, I'll know. You want it to be trackable because these systems, and not to get on my soapbox here, but I'm going to get on my soapbox. You're on my channel. What I was going to say is these systems are built to learn. Like these are AI algorithmic things. And the way that Google and Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Pinterest and Instagram, all of them are built off of getting data on users and figuring out, oh, this worked. This created a good positive experience. And I'm going to go find more users like that. These platforms want to keep you on there and they want you to continue to build trust on the platforms. So that being said, you want to make sure your data tracking is set up. All right, go ahead, click leads in this case. And if you do have your conversion set up correctly, you should see them pop up down here. And if you don't like the ones that are here, you can go ahead and remove and then add in different ones. In this case, we're going to go ahead with what I have. I'm going to select a search campaign for this. We're going to type in website visits. I'll just put in my website. Right, and then in this case, we're going to act like we're an appliance company. So appliance, or like a wholesale appliance company, wholesale appliances. Okay. Start new. We are going to, so this is where I think some people get kind of confused or a little bit messed up. So here's what I typically recommend. This is all about understanding your niche. So if you are selling a relatively unique product, and you're like, hey, TJ, there's only 20 or 30 searches in my local area for what I do. You can switch this conversion event to optimize for clicks. And it's going to get you the most amount of clicks for the particular keyword that you're focusing on. Now, I caution you that if you use this strategy, that it's going to get you as many clicks as possible. And it's not going to worry about the quality of the click or whatever the case is. I typically use this maximize clicks bid strategy once I figured out here are my top 5, 10 best keywords. I have a lot of negative keywords because if I have a lot of negative keywords added in and I know what my top keyword is, excuse me, it's already negating a bunch of irrelevant searches. And so I have spent a ton of time, and this is months. I want you to understand, it's 6-7 months of me building up a huge negative keyword list. And, my team and I have spent the time to figure out who are our ideal users and what are they actually typing in. So just to keep in mind, if you do use Maximize Clicks, you have to understand that you either need to, 1, already have a really strong filtered out negative keyword list, or 2, know that your keyword has really low search volume. Now, for most people in this scenario, I would recommend doing maximize conversions. You want to turn off the search network and display network. If you want a video on that later, just let me know. We're going to select a location. Right now, I'm just going to set the United States. You can go in and enter the location of your business, and that will dynamically pop up in here. If you've connected your Google My Business. In this case, I'm just going to click, well, I think my business profile is going to be the United States. Yeah, that's stupid. And because I'm a marketing agency, so that wouldn't make any sense. So we'll just, for this scenario, I'm just going to say I'm targeting Tampa, Florida. Okay, great. We'll click presence. Make sure you do this. A lot of people miss this when you hit location options. They just kind of skip over this part. Drop this menu down. You can see that presence or interest, people in regularly in or who have shown interest in your targeted locations. I don't want any of that. I want people who are in my locations if I'm a local based business. I want people, if I'm selling gutter cleaning solutions, I want people that have a house and live in the area. I don't want people who've traveled or coming in or planning to come into that area. Don't do that. Make sure this is on. This can save you a decent amount of money, actually. So, audience segments, we're not going to mess with that. Do not turn broad match keyword on. Automatically created assets. If you are going to spend time looking in your ad account every single day, you can turn this on. In this scenario, I would say, let's keep this off and we will come back to that at another point. This is basically, it's a relatively new feature, I would say, but it's been around for a little bit. And you can read it, but it allows you to let Google use the content from your landing page, your domain, and ads, and it can create custom assets. So you'll see sometimes it'll create a custom extension or custom things that you're like, wait, I didn't write that headline or I didn't write that description. So you have to understand it will create something that you might not have expected. Okay, so in this case, it's giving me all these fun marketing keywords. You are going to want to type in, so again, in this case, we are an appliance company, so we are going to put in best appliances near me. Appliances near me. Wholesale appliances near me. Okay, so what you can tell here from what I'm doing is, and I think I should make that the hybrid wholesale and put it together. But what you can see here is what I'm doing is these are a little bit longer tail. You really want to work to focus on keyword phrases that are longer and not just one particular small keyword. If I was a roofing company, I would want to do roofing, roofing repairs or something like that, like something that is also the pain of the people searching too. So these are a couple of things you want to test. But in this case, this is how we would set this up. I'm only going to use these 3 because I'm going to show you how to add in more by ad group later. So we'll go with, what am I getting this issue for? Oh, grab my website right here. All right. Computer's lagging. There we go. All right. So don't need to add in lead forms here. You are going to want to do everything you can to get your Google Ads score to excellent. I'm going to skip through some of this part of the video. You don't need to watch me build out an ad completely, but you do want to spend your time making sure that you fill out every single one of your options here. And hear me when I say this, every single headline, every single description needs to be filled out. Don't necessarily need to do images. I suggest that you do. Make sure you add your business name, logo. Make sure you put site links. Site links are, if you go, I'll give you an example here. If you go to Nike, these are site links, right? So this takes people maybe to a more specific part on your website. So again, in my case, let's say I was selling, a different sort of, let's say a refrigerator appliance. I can make sure that it takes them to refrigerators or microwaves or things like that. So that's what you'd want to do. Make sure your site links are set up. Go down to asset types, promotions, pricing. Another great option. I really like when people add their pricing things. So this is, and I'll pop this open for you real quick. So let me see if I can't. I'll try and create an example for you guys at the end of the video. Add in your phone number to generate calls if you want, and then make sure your location is added here. So those are the main ones you want to be adding in. Now I am gonna pause the video and finish setting up some of my headlines and descriptions, and then I will be back. All right, guys, I'm back. The price extension, I did want to show you guys this. This is what this looks like. I've just created a random example. You can see I typed in refrigerator, the price, the description, and this allows people to, once you add in the URL as well, they can click this and go straight to the product. So if some people are, if you have an offer or a service that people are going to shop around quite a bit, and you're like, hey, I'd rather give it to them up front. This lets them know, and you actually can sometimes, this is a way to save on clicks and make sure you don't waste any money on a click. Because they can look and say, actually, I don't want to pay. These look like too expensive. I'm going to hit cancel because I do not want those saved in my account right now. But assuming I added in all the extra prices, the extensions, my ad strength would go up to excellent because I did add in my descriptions, maxed out all my headlines, and I would get my ad strength to excellent. The reason this is so important is because when you launch this campaign and you pick the keywords you're going after, Google Ads is going to put your ad in the auction, meaning there's 1,000 other people bidding on the same exact keyword. Well, most of those people are not going to have filled out all the potential information like we just did here in our ad. And so that lowers the ad strength score, which you can see here. If you want to learn more about that, you can click. But Google has an ad strength score, and the goal of it is to make sure that they're serving up the best ads for their ideal user. And the way you do that is put the most information possible so Google can create and dynamically puts all your headlines together and figures out what's the best experience for your user. It's like, it makes no sense that you wouldn't do it. It's really just, in my opinion, people being lazy. So average daily budget, you can go ahead and set that. If you have questions about budgets, feel free to message me individually. It's different based on industry and things like that. I'm going to pause this while I verify so I can launch this. All right, I'm back. I might have gotten glitched out here. Let's see. All right, now I can publish my campaign. Okay, great. Now we're gonna get reviewed. Now here's the one of the last pieces I want to talk about, at least for this video. If you are wanting to do lots of different targeting, and you're like, hey, I actually want to make sure I am targeting refrigerators as well, right? In this case, I'm a wholesale company. So this one was focused on wholesale kind of appliance terms, or at least it should have been. So what I did there is I renamed that ad group to be wholesale. So I knew that all the keywords that I'm bidding on would be about wholesale appliances near me, that sort of thing. I want to make sure, because I want to make my budget as effective as possible, and I want it to go as far as possible. And I know that these keywords have a certain amount of volume, and I only want to show up on these. I'm going to change my match type for each one of these to be exact match. Now, that means that we won't show up for anything other than the keyword that is on our screen right here on the left. A lot of folks will switch this over to phrase match and broad match, and Google tells you it's recommended. That is how you drain through your budget in one day, like that. You start showing up for things that are irrelevant, and you don't get the right traffic to your site. So you want to set up exact match, and then you can slowly move into those other match types down the road, which I have another video on when to do that. But you'll see over time, this is going to say low search volume. I don't care. I would rather take 50 of my best quality users that I know are the right people for my website than 5,000 just random broad match searches. I've seen nightmares of accounts that way. So if you are like, hey, but TJ, I do want to add in some more, and you're a wholesale company like me, and you want to show up for all the refrigerators. Great, that's not a problem. We're going to go back to our ad groups. We're going to create a new separate ad group. Make sure it stays on standard. Do not do dynamic. That's a whole different thing we'll talk about later. Refrigerator. Is that how you spell it? Okay. And I would put something like, I would put the right URL in, right? Be probably like whatever the URL is, your website is / refrigerators, right? And then I would put in all my refrigerator keywords. So wholesale refrigerators, wow, this is not my refurbished refrigerators. Nope. Yeah. All right. Bear with me, guys. And then you would, another one could be refrigerators near me, but you get the idea. So I hit save, continue. I'm going to go ahead, and then it's going to ask me to build out a separate ad. And I want to go ahead and delete all the headlines, all the descriptions in here, and make sure that all my copy now makes sense for refrigerator searches. Now, this is where a lot of businesses don't do this, and they just have a random ad that doesn't really make sense for someone looking for refrigerators. So now you can see, I go into the refrigerator ad group. I can see my refurbished refrigerators. I'm going to put those on exact match. And now I can, over time, I will see my clicks break into that wholesale ad group, the refrigerator one, and so on as I build it. Now, this is really broadly how you can build this and scale it without just absolutely killing your budget. I'm so sick of taking on clients and seeing this happen. If you have any more questions about this, let me know down below. I know this was a little bit longer than what I wanted to do, but I think it's helpful. This is really the fundamentals of making sure your ad account stays organized by your category group or by the search terms, I should say, that you want to show up for, or keywords. So, all right, peace out. Feel free to subscribe. Got more stuff coming. All right, peace.